Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. I've been having a pretty relaxing one, enjoying my day off and just chilling. But now I'm here to deliver another Are You In? And please don't click away. I know you probably saw the title. Enough dilly-dallying. I will get right into it. So today we are talking about Hoobastank's newest album entitled Push Pull. Now, for those of you who don't know who Hoobastank is, or didn't grow up in that particular generation, Hoobastank is an alternative rock slash post grunge band from Agora Hills, Los Angeles, California. The members include Douglas Doug Robb on lead vocals and guitar, Daniel Dan Estrin in lead guitar and backing vocals, Chris Hess on drums, percussion, and backing vocals, and Jesse Charland on bass, keyboard, and backing vocals. I just gotta say for a second, I love that their nicknames are literally just their names: Douglas Doug Robb and Daniel Dan Estrin. Think that's kind of funny. The previous albums include Hoobastank in 2001, The Reason in 2003, Every Man for Himself in 2006, For Never in 2009, and Fight or Flight in 2012. Now, they technically had another album when they were doing a more ska kind of band before they became Hoobastank, but I'm not going to talk about that. I don't really know much about it. But yes, this is a guilty pleasure band of mine, so please don't click away. I think you'll definitely enjoy this if you give it a second. But yes, they are a guilty pleasure band of mine. I've liked them basically from the beginning, or at least with The Reason. But I enjoy most of their singles, Crawling in the Dark, The Reason, Same Direction, If I Were You, My Turn, Running Away, Inside of You, Born to Lead. I, really got into them when I was a little bit younger, and I have listened to, if not all their CDs, at least a good portion of them. And yes, I do like them. I don't know why that's such a weird thing to say, but yes, I am admitting that I like Hoobastank. Sure, this is my AA meeting, I guess. Anyways, I listened to their previous album, Fight or Flight, when it came out, and I had it in my top 25 of that year in 2012. I believe I had it in my top 10. I don't think it was top 5, but it was pretty close. Listening back to it, I probably wouldn't have put it as high, but I definitely would have kept it in my top 25. The reason for it being is that it felt a little bit more mature in sound than some of their previous albums. You have like fast paced and hard hitting songs like This Is Gonna Hurt, or No Win Situation. You have a couple of these that just hit very hard and hit harder than some of the other songs that they've done. But you also have these beautiful moments like Magnolia or 1,000 Words or Slow Down, that are a little bit more somber and are more open and show off the fact that they've matured over the years. And then you get something like Incomplete, which is a little bit more upbeat and more poppy sound, which I've actually heard on a couple of car commercials, and I really think that's funny. But it was their most diverse sound in terms of an album. And then they went on some sort of hiatus, and they've done other things, including Doug Robb being the singer on the opening track for Sonic Forces, the newest Sonic game. That's a nice little bit of trivia for you if you are interested in that, which I think is also pretty funny. But anyways, they came back in 2018 for a new album, and one that I actually didn't hear about until I saw a post of one of my friends on Facebook being like, yeah, Hoobastank just dropped a new album. So, of course, being a Hoobastank fan, I had to check it out. Now, does it live up to the album in 2012? No. In fact, it's a little bit lackluster to me. So this is a weird thing to me. When I first listened to it, I was really pumped for it, and I did like most of it. And I thought, like, hey, it was a pretty solid album. Now, listening back to it, I gotta say it doesn't hit the level of um, Fight or Flight, and I don't know if it's necessarily even one of their top three albums. So let me explain. It's an 11-track CD, and there are some good stuff on there. It kind of does continue the approach of having a more mature sound in some ways. Um, Songs like "Don't Look Away" is a really dark, sinister kind of song, and it works very well in building, especially with Doug Rob's voice. It He starts very low in his register, and it sounds a little bit more sinister, and then eventually it gets to the chorus, and he uses his nice high range that he's known for, and that nice contrast throughout the song works really well, especially with the simple instrumentation. Um, I really like the song in general, even if it does seem to end real quick. And the message itself is about, our social media personas being different from ourselves, and not being surprised by that, if you will. Songs like "More Beautiful," it's a very funky song, but it has a nice message, being like, don't think that you're not beautiful, because there are people out there who think that you are. And it's a funky song, but it's one that is kind of restrained in its energy, and that's very nice. Um, Just Let Go is another one of these that it has some good energy, but it has a very nice 6/8 feel, and it's a cool idea with some cool drum ideas in mind. Um, it's one of my favorite melodies on the album, and it just feels all around very nice to listen to. Even again, another song that kind of ends a little bit too quickly. Um, and there are some other ones, but the biggest thing is that I think a lot of these songs are very mediocre. You get to a point where after I like my fourth or fifth favorite song, it starts to get a little bit eh. Um, and gone are the angsty energy, or the more of the hard rock post grunge thing, and it feels just more uh, rock in general, a little bit of funk. Um, it's a more sedated rock, if you will, to me. Songs like "Push Pull," songs like "True Believer," um, "Buzzkill," "Fallen Star," all these kind of feel very samey. Even if they have different feels to them, they're all around that same, just like meh kind of sound to me. Um, and when you have that, you have to have the lyrics try to be a little bit more interesting. But unfortunately, Hoobastank's never really been known for their amazing lyrics. Um, so you have kind of uninteresting or mediocre music and mediocre lyrics. Like, I could sum up each one of these songs' lyrics, in one short sentence. "Push Pull" is about this push pull relationship between two lovers. "More Beautiful," I've already said that. "Head Over Heels," which we'll get to in a minute. Um, so I'll have to stop for that. "True Believer," falling in love with someone and making them a true believer. "Just Let Go," it says in the title, "Let go, who cares if we fall? At least we'll get to try. Better left unsaid. Some things are better left unsaid. We don't need the world." A nice song, but one that's just talking about, like, we'll just be together. We don't need the world to tell us anything. "Buzzkill," "Before You Say Goodbye," a song about wanting to kiss somebody before they leave. "Fallen Star," "You're my fallen star. There will never be another one." Pretty self-explanatory. If just by reading these titles alone, you're going to get the gist of what these songs are, and there isn't any huge witty, not much witty writing. It's all kind of just there. So what you see is what you get on a lot of these songs, which is funny about with the first song being "Don't Look Away." being like what you see is not necessarily what you get. You're kind of getting that here. Now again, there are some nice ones. I've already talked about Don't Look Away. I've already talked about More Beautiful. Talked about Just Let Go. I like Better Left Unsaid. It's a nice 6/8 feel with a nice energy, and it has a cool like this kind of interesting ethereal progression in the chorus. I mean, the verse where you're going C minor to D major, which completely uses two different scales, and for that it makes a very interesting sound, and I like that. We Don't Need the World. It's a beautiful one with an interesting progression of A, G, B minor, B flat, going back to A, which uses again a lot of mixing between scales. But again, another one that kind of just gets to a point where it's not mediocre, because it has a beautiful sentiment. I love the feel of a lot of that song, and it's very slow, giving it a nice little ballad feel, rock ballad, if you will. It's just a lot of it is just very miss, if you will. I do like Doug Rob's falsetto on here. It's something that I'm not used to hearing, and it's a very nice touch on a lot of these songs. But we have to talk about the biggest cardinal sin, and that is Head Over Heels. Is the worst song on the album, unfortunately, at least to me, because it's a cover of Tears for Fears, and I love this song. This is a song that I think is one of Tears for Fears' best songs. And there's a lot of really nice complexity in the Tears for Fears version. And I feel like this is a much more stripped down version that even gets to more of like a heavy rock kind of feel at the end that just feels weird, and I don't know why it's there. It's not an unforgivable sin, but it's not great, and it just feels tacked on. And a lot of this does feel tacked on. It feels like one of those CDs where it's like, okay, we kind of have something. We got like these 3 or 4 good songs, but now we have to tack on these other ones to make an actual album, so we can sell this and hopefully get some money from it. And I hate to say that because I like Hoobastank, but I don't think this is an over the top good album. This might make my top 50 because of course it's Hoobastank, and that's an added plus for me. But if you're not a Hoobastank fan, I don't think it's worth it that much. It's kind of forgettable, and I literally just listened to it 20 minutes ago again. It's kind of forgettable. So if you're a Hoobastank fan, check it out. It's probably not going to be your favorite album, but you never know, you might like it. If you like rock, give it a shot. But other than that, I don't think it's worth necessarily listening to. I would say listen to a couple of them. Maybe listen to like the first half of this CD. Or at least definitely listen to Don't Look Away. Listen to More Beautiful. Listen to Just Let Go, Better Left Unsaid, and We Don't Need the World. I would say listen to those 5, and you got it. So that is my time, and another minute and a half left. I hope you enjoy this. Please forgive me. I know we all have our guilty pleasures, and this one's mine. So if you like what I talked about and you actually stayed through to the end, please, of course, do a couple different things. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, comment on albums that you would like me to review, and all in all, just keep on watching, because that's the best thing that you can do. So Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to have my final album review in terms of 2017, and hopefully it's with a special guest. I'm not exactly sure just yet, but it will be. No matter what, I'm going to do it. And then we'll have most likely a cover song on Friday, and then another Are You In, and one that I'm really excited to talk about. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.